Student. Today in this video, we will be discussing about the measurement of national income. National income can be calculated by three different methods, and this video is specifically focusing on the product method. So, product method. In this product method, we will be discussing the various phases first. So, phases. First phase is your production phase. You have already studied the circular flow of income, in which the producing sector is focusing on the production activity, and in that process the income is generated in the production units. The second phase is followed by the distribution. Once the factors of production produced, factors of production is employed, definitely they will demand the income against their services. So in the distribution phase, that income is distributed among the factors of production by the producing sector. And when this income is reached the household sector, the household sector will make demand, and thus it will make expenditure to buy the commodities, and the payment goes back to the producing sector. So this is the way the three phases moves on in a circular path. And on the basis of this, we have fixed three methods of calculation of national income. The methods are product method. The first one is product method. It is also known as value added method and industrial origin method. These are the different names of product method. The second method is income method. This is also known as factor payment method and distributive share method. Whereas expenditure method is also known as income disposable method and consumption of investment method. So these are the three methods. The value added method focuses on the net value added by all the producing sectors. In the activity, whatever the value is added by them, that is considered in this particular method. In the second method, we take account of all the factor incomes. That means we sum up the factor incomes earned by the various factors of production, and according to that, we try to find out the national income. The third method, that is expenditure method, focuses on all the expenditures incurred on final goods, or you call it as final expenditure. Now you must have know the importance of final expenditure of final goods and intermediate goods that you have already covered in some basic concepts. So here we are going to talk about the final expenditure. So need to focus on only the final expenditure. Now coming to the next slide is that how this product method is used in calculating the national income. So first, let's see what is it. It is a summation of net value added at factor cost by all the producing units during an accounting year. Remember, we are just talking about the production made by the producing units inside the domestic territory, and the value added at factor cost is inside the domestic territory. So here what we are talking about here is net value added at factor cost. This means we are talking about the domestic income. So remember, here we are reaching first of all to the domestic concept. So let's find out how to find out the net value added at factor cost from gross value of output. What is gross value of output? Gross value of output is the total volume of goods and services produced by the residents inside the domestic territory, and that can be and from that we are going to consider the sales plus change in stock. We will take into account in this next slide what is gross value of output, and from here we are going to calculate net value of output at factor cost, that is gross value of output minus depreciation and minus NIT. Remember, this is net concept, and here we are taking up gross concept. So to arrive at net from gross, we have to deduct depreciation. And here this is factor cost concept. And when you talk about gross value of output, this is market price concept. That means the sales is made in the market at the prices prevailing in the market. So this is at market price. Always remember, the gross value of output is at market price. So from market price, we have to arrive at factor cost. For that, we have to deduct NIT. And what is NIT? NIT is indirect taxes minus subsidies. This you have already studied in the previous video where I have discussed about the three important basic formulas. So remember, depreciation and NIT is from that particular video itself. So you have to deduct depreciation to arrive at net, and to arrive at factor cost, you have to deduct this NIT. Now, once you have calculated net value added at factor cost, you have to subtract intermediate consumption. That means if you want to arrive at value added from the value of output, you have to deduct intermediate consumption. Intermediate consumption is the various goods and services used in the production process. And this net value added factor cost is nothing but net domestic product at factor cost, or you can call it as domestic income. Now, domestic income we are calculating here, and after calculating domestic income, if we want to know the national income, we have to consider the value of NFIA. So here it is, national income is equal to domestic income plus NFIA, or you can say net factor income from abroad. Now further, let us study in detail the various concepts here. So first of all, I'll take up the value of output. The value of output, we can calculate it by the total output produced multiplying the value of that is multiplying the output by price. So whatever prices are prevailing in the market, we are multiplying that to the total output, we arrive at value of output. This is gross value of output, and that is at market price, because here price you're talking about. So this is at market price, and this is because it is the initial stage when you're just accounting the total goods produced without considering any other aspects. So it becomes gross value of output. This we can also calculate it as sales plus change in stock. That means output produced by the producer can be sold in the market, that you call it as sales, and which always remains unsold, that is change in stock. That means this output, if valued in terms of some price, this is both sold and unsold. If it is sold, it becomes sales, and if it is unsold, it is kept in the stock. And from that stock, if we consider the change in stock or change in inventories, then we arrive at gross value of output of a particular accounting year. Now, value added. Value added is the net addition of value made by the various producers at different stages of production. So this is equal to value of output minus intermediate cost or intermediate consumption. In other words, you can say this intermediate consumption means all the purchases made by the producer for producing a particular commodity. Remember, these purchases, these expenditure do not include the expenditure incurred on purchase of capital goods, because that becomes the asset, or you can say that is capital formation, and that is not to be considered here in the case of intermediate consumption. Inventories, that means your change in stock is also known as inventories or change in inventories. This we can calculate it in the form of closing stock minus opening stock. Closing stock of a particular financial year, accounting year, minus the opening stock of that particular accounting year. So we can find out exactly how much addition of unsold stock is there with the producer during that particular accounting year. So remember, this inventory can be of unsold finished goods, or it can be of semi-finished goods, or it can be of raw materials which are there with the firms during an accounting year for which you're talking about. Now, let us see the various steps involved in calculation of national income, or you can say the product method. First is identification of producing sector. So first thing we have to do in this method is we have to identify the various producing sectors. Which all are the various producing sectors. So we have got three sectors here. The first one is primary sector, which is totally dependent on procuring the goods and just getting the goods from the nature directly. The second one is your secondary sector, and secondary sector is basically the manufacturing sector which adds the value to the goods which are received from the primary sector. And here is the third sector. That third sector is actually the service sector, which helps in working of the primary as well as secondary sector. Rather, it promotes their working, it helps in their proper functioning and manufacturing and producing goods, procuring goods. So tertiary sector is the service sector. So first of all, we have to identify these three sectors. The next step is estimation of value addition made by the various sectors. That means how much value has been added by these sectors. So first, how we are going to find out? Primary sector, we'll just see, for example, we'll take the primary sector. In the primary sector, how much amount of commodity is manufactured or procured or gathered. So that we will see, that means total value addition they have done. And then out of that, we are going to deduct the value of purchase, that is intermediate consumption. So first of all, primary sector's value of output will be considered minus intermediate consumption. So we arrive at the value addition made by the primary sector. In the same way, in the secondary sector, first of all, we'll be taking care that how much value of output has been produced by this sector, and from that we will deduct the intermediate consumption made by this particular sector. Followed by the third sector, the same way. First of all, we'll see that how much value of output the tertiary sector has done, and then out of that we'll be deducting the intermediate consumption made by the particular sector, this particular sector. Okay, so we are going to add all the three sectors value addition and we arrive it here. Then comes, from this particular value addition, we are going to find out the domestic income. Actually, this is net value added factor cost. So if we add up together the value of individual firms, we come to domestic income. That means the NVAFC of the country is known as domestic income. NVFC of individual sectors, if we are taking up, then that is just a part of domestic income. And when we sum up the income or the value addition by these sectors, then we arrive at domestic income, which is also known as net domestic product at factor cost. After the calculation of NDP FC, we add NFIA, net factor income from abroad, in this, and we reach, or we finally estimate the national income. So for arriving at national income, we always have to make the treatment of NFI. That means we have to add NFI. Now the precautions. What all precaution you need to consider while considering this method? First of all, to be included, we have to include in this method, the first one is imputed rent or imputed value of goods or the value of own account production. That means any producer who is using his own property and giving rent to himself, or any producer who is using certain goods for which the value of goods, his own goods, and the value of that goods is given to himself. In the same way, if a particular producer is producing certain amount of commodity which he is using again for his production, then that will be considered as a part of your domestic income in the product method. And what we don't have to include is, the first one is sale and purchase of second-hand goods. We will not include sale and purchase of second-hand goods because we have already taken into account in the previous year or the year in which we have produced this particular commodity. So again, if we are going to take up, it is going to lead double counting. In the same way, sale and purchase of scraps and waste, any waste material, if it is there, the value of that will not be taken into account. Why? Because it's already been taken in that particular year's production in which it has been produced. The sale and purchase of shares and bonds will not be included. Why? Because shares and bonds are the financial capital against the real capital. And once we are taking up the real capital into consideration, then the share and bonds, if added, then it is going to lead to double counting. Why? Because its physical assets are taken, and this is the financial assets against those physical assets. Income from illegal activities will not be included. Any type of, maybe income from lottery, income from windfall gains, etc., will not be included in the product method calculation. Now, there is a problem of double counting. What is this double counting meaning? It is counting of the product more than once in calculating national income. That means the value of a particular commodity is taken again and again while calculating the national income. Say, for example, value of wheat is taken once, and the same value of wheat is transferred in the form of raw material to flour mill. If we take the value of that wheat again, it is going to lead to double counting. In the same way, if a bread maker is taking the flour and the value of that particular commodity is again taken while calculating the national income of the bread, then in that case, it is going to lead to double counting. So such a position should be avoided. For that, we try to take the method. So what is the consequence of it? It is that the national income is overestimated, and solution is that we can use two approaches. One is final product approach, and the second one is value added approach. Final product approach means taking the value of final goods only produced by the producing units. That means only the final output of the commodity is to be taken into consideration while calculating national income. This is one approach. And the second approach is that only the value added, I mean, every stage of production leads to some kind of value addition. So if we take only the value added by different producing units, then also we can avoid double counting. So these are the two ways by which we can avoid the problem of double counting. Now let us recapitulate this method again with the formula repeating. So first of all, we will be calculating gross value of output to find out the national income by product method, and gross value of output is the total value of goods and services produced inside the domestic territory in an accounting year. And how we can calculate it? By adding sales plus change in stock. So change in stock is closing minus opening stock. From there, we'll be calculating net value of output at factor cost, and for that, from the gross value of output, this is at the market price because sales is at market price. So from that gross value of output, we are going to deduct the depreciation and NIT. So if we want to arrive at net, again we have to deduct depreciation, and if we want to arrive at factor cost from the market price, we have to deduct NIT. After deducting depreciation and NIT from gross value of output, we reach at net value of output at factor cost. Now from net value of output at factor cost, we are going to deduct intermediate consumption. Intermediate consumption is all the purchases made by the producer for the production of a particular commodity, or you can say purchases made by all the producing units for the production purposes. So if we deduct this from the net value of output, we arrive at net value added at factor cost. This net value added at factor cost is also known as NDPFC, or you can call it as domestic income. So now we are at domestic income. So after reaching the domestic income, only one thing is left, and that is NFIA. And if we are going to add NFIA, that is net factor income from abroad, to domestic income, we arrive at national income. That means domestic income plus NFIA, we arrive at national income. So this is the step finally reaching to national income. Remember, in whatever method we follow, be it product method, income method, or expenditure method, the first thing is we always arrive at domestic income, and then from domestic income we adding NFIA, we calculate national income. So this is all about your product method. I hope it must be clear, and if any doubt is there, you can recapitulate once again the previous videos in which I have clarified the national aggregates and related concepts. So make sure that the confusion should not be there in the topic, so that you may be easily able to solve the numericals. Thank you.